that Kyle and I both really knew that we wanted in the van was plenty of kitchen space.
And it was just like, oh, like we can just do this. Like we can travel as long as we have a roof. Everybody's different and this will look different for everyone.
Hi, my name's Miranda.
I'm Kyle.
And we are in our 2021 Ford Transit van.
So come take a look at our home.
First, coming into the van, you see the shower, but you're also in the kitchen. So here we have an induction stove, and it's a 2-burner. We originally had propane in the van, but the propane hose wasn't installed correctly, and it broke and filled up the van with propane while we were out. And long story short, we had to remove that whole system and ask for an induction stove. So we cook everything on this. We don't have an oven. I think we kind of wish we did have an oven, but this works really well for the majority of our meals. So in a kitchen, you obviously need to store your food and utensils. So let me just show you that. Up top here, we use one of our upper cabinets for a pantry. And the cabinets we have are all on gas struts, and they have pretty powerful hinges, and we did add latches to all of them as well. And then we moved down to the lower cabinets. The first drawer here is actually a junk drawer. In this junk drawer, we kind of just keep things that we grab or drop off coming in and out of the van. Second and third drawers are all for food storage. We keep a lot of the cans in here. I keep a diffuser here. We keep our beer koozies and other little things that are easy to grab. In the third drawer, more cans. This is a little bit deeper than the first one. So we have some extra stuff in here like grains and rice and noodles. Bottom drawer is not really a part of the kitchen. It's more of the mudroom. We have pretty much all of our shoes in here. I think we have heavy-duty winter boots in the back right now, but we'll be getting those out soon and trading out all of the flip-flops and slides and sandals and things like that. I think the thing that we get the most compliments on when people come into the van and look around is this little fridge right here. It's a Magic Chef. I knew I wanted something that was kind of a cute feature in the kitchen. I grew up with a lot of 50s style or vintage style furniture in my house, so this kind of reminds me of that. And it's also very, very spacious. It does run on 110 volt, so our inverter is on all the time. Something that Kyle and I both really knew that we wanted in the van was plenty of kitchen space. We ended up with way more than we thought we were going to get. But we're really happy with it because we both really enjoy cooking and spending time in the kitchen. We've got a cast iron skillet that does work on induction stoves, if anyone was curious. And we have magma pots and pans. They are a little bit pricey, but it was something that we really wanted to invest in. So we needed something that worked on induction, so it has to be magnetic, and we wanted it to work on regular propane stoves as well. The magma does that, and we'll use it on our induction, as well as we have a portable camp stove that we use propane with. We also have this tiny little blender called a Blend Jet. I would recommend it. It's USB charging. It is pretty small, but it's good if you wake up and make a smoothie or a protein shake every day. The backsplash is something that I added later. These ones were a little bit pricier. I think they were $8 a pack, so I had to buy a few, but you can find some that are much cheaper. I just really liked this tile pattern, especially with the countertops. It just felt like it blended really well. It's something that we also get some compliments on. Our counter space here had a piece taken out of it and used as a cutting board that can wedge on top of the sink. We have a stainless steel sink. This faucet here pops out. It goes on a spray function and just a pour function. It has a cold and a hot faucet, so we have hot water when we have our water heater on. So the sink drains into the gray tank, and that's the same gray tank that's below. It's 18 gallons. It has a little bypass valve or emptying valve that is down here below. We keep our fire hydrant, and we keep an extra backpack, some tripods, and little odds and ends in the nooks and crannies, and some cleaning supplies like that. Up here we keep our dishes, and there is also an outlet in this cabinet. We anticipated putting our electronics in here, but it didn't work out with the sizing, so we kind of plug them in here and store them all over here.
We've definitely done the grungy version of just like mattress in the back of the Astro, take it out for a long weekend here and there.
Part-timing it.
Yeah, part-timing it. We definitely did that. And it was just like, oh, like we can just do this. Like we can travel as long as we have a roof. And I think that kind of initial inkling of an idea really evolved over the years in different ways.
It was during the pandemic when we couldn't travel or take trips or weren't moving around that we had to sit still and turned on the TV for the first time in a long time. And that's when I started searching travel YouTube videos because I really missed traveling. And then I got introduced to all the big names in the travel YouTube world and the van life world. That was when I was like, oh wow, this looks like the life I kind of imagined. This looks like the kind of people I would hang out with, and this is doable. You can travel and you don't have to pay rent, and you can be more free. We originally were not going to go with a dinette conversion for the bedroom area, but now that we have it, we really do enjoy it. It just feels very sociable and inviting. We always have plenty of seats for any company that we have. The table is a Lagoon table mount, so that is on the back center of our U-shaped dinette. So you can swivel it to let company sit down with you. You can move it in different directions. It's really convenient. As far as the bed goes, yeah, we convert it by putting the back couch cushions in the center and the table goes down. We keep all of our sheets and blankets in this huge pillow behind me. We just emptied out the fluff and put clothes and sweaters, extra layers that we're not really wearing seasonally, and our blankets in there. Under the dinette and bed area, we've got storage in these benches. On this side is all of our electrical and our heater. And if we open these up, we can see the heater and make sure everything is clear of that. We also have a door over here, and the first thing you'll see is our water heater. And we can also stuff a few extra things in there if they don't have a place. And back here, there's also our freshwater tank, and we have all of our plumbing. So if we need to do any shutoff valves for winter, we can access all of that from this bench. We really like that we chose to have storage space here. Not really storage space, but shelf space. So when we turn this into the bedroom at night, we're able to leave our phones here on the shelf, and we can leave things up during the day like books or decor like flowers and things like that.
The first thing you probably see when you come into our van is the shower. We have a full shower and bathroom, and we love it. Our shower drains to an 18-gallon undermounted gray water tank. So we use all biodegradable soap, and we can dump anywhere that it's legal. For the toilet, we have the Nature's Head composting toilet, and we really like it. This manages to be pretty odor-free. We found a hot online tip about BioClean pet odor remover, and this has worked like a dream. Anytime you go pee, you just spray it right in like the urine diverter area.
The process for us to get to having the van was not what we thought it was going to be.
It was a whirlwind.
Like, we looked into loans and we weren't getting approved for loans of the size needed to just outright buy a totally built van. Oddly enough, trading in for a new vehicle and then just paying for the build or to build it ourselves was going to be significantly cheaper and easier to do than seeking out all of the money to pay for something that was already done. We weren't sure if we were gonna build ourselves. I really was convinced we could do it, we were capable. Kyle wasn't so sure.
I think I was the more hesitant one for sure, because it was kind of the start of the pandemic. Everything was on back order, stuff was hard to source. It was gonna be a really long process.
But I think what decided it for us was once we had the brand new, like 2021 empty vehicle, we took a look at it and we realized that's so much work. We didn't know if we could gain all of the skills needed to do that in the amount of time that we knew we needed to hit the road. So I think we just kind of agreed, like, okay, now we need to look into builders. Yeah. So we picked a place that was near my family in Missouri, and I was like, this all sounds great. This is in the right price range. I think that we'll really be able to do this.
So on the back of our van, we have a fixed ladder. Originally, we had a telescoping ladder, but it took up so much storage and just felt a little rickety. We also have a small roof deck up top. We love to stay at wineries, and one of our favorite things is to just have a glass of wine up on the roof rack and like look out over some vineyards. It feels a little magical, it's cool. But we can take a look inside. We use bug wall bug screens. So they were pre-manufactured and we just had to install them. Overall, we love the bug screens. Super important, especially during summer. We use every little bit of storage we can. So we've got about like 6 to 8 inches back here that we use to store just some camp chairs for any time we set up somewhere for a little bit. We have a folding table that we didn't know if we were going to use, but have actually grown very fond of. We also keep our water fill-up hoses and filters back here. We've got a 25-foot water hose, and I wouldn't recommend anything shorter because we started with a 10-foot and could never fill up anywhere. So we bought this very quick. And then water filter is always good because we never know what water source we're going to have to fill up from. Our bed is like way too short for me because I'm 6'3", so I cut out a piece of foam and added like 8 inches to our bed on the back end because this was all just empty space. So we've got like a piece of plywood that is mounted to the sides and just gets supported by this like wooden beam here. But let's take a look behind our back panels because we have some storage and some utilities back here. Door number 1 has access to our water tank and our water fill tank for our AC unit. We have a 32-gallon fresh water tank. We were going to try to fit more in, but they didn't have any in stock that could fit under there. A lot of companies will make one that fit over the wheel well, and they were out when we were building. It usually lasts, I would say, about a week. So we have a 12-volt Fresh air conditioner, and it works by taking its own water source and cooling the air through whatever system it uses up top. Usually we can run it in the summer for like 4 to 5 days before we need to fill up. This one is just a storage cubby. Door number 3 it comes right off, and it's just on these, they're called like bulldog rivets or something. But this pops off, and we've got access to our battery bank to pull those out for servicing if we ever need. We've got 600 amp hours of lithium battery. If you'll notice on the outside of this, we've got this big scary red switch here. This just turns off our entire power bank. We only have 300 watts of solar, and I would say it's more important to recharge your battery bank rather than just have a big one, because it doesn't matter how huge your battery bank is. If you have a cloudy week, then you'll probably run them down. We compensate with that by having a shore power hookup, but we also have a DC to DC charger. So we charge our battery bank off of our van's alternator as well, which I could not recommend more. It really just takes some time to like build the foundation that you might need to do this life. And that's okay, because it's a huge change and that's allowed to take time.
Yeah.
But I would say if you're the type of person that wants to dive in head first, you can. If you like to plan things out and be a little more methodical, then ride that way for yourself, because everybody's different and this will look different for everyone. You might need to take out loans, or you might need to work and save up for a few years before you can afford it. You can also throw a bed and a camp stove in the back of a van and go about it that way.
And we are in a luxury camper van, clearly, but anybody can do this. Anybody can live in any kind of van, like Kyle said. And don't be afraid to ask for help either. Look for resources around you. Look for, family and friends who can offer a place for you to do this at, to build. Anybody who you can ask to pitch in somehow. I mean, we, full transparency, had a few personal loans financially to contribute to the final build bill. So, just be humble and be aware that, you might need help to get here, but it's worth it.
Thank you so much for touring our home. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Kyle and Miranda Vlog. And we're also on YouTube as just Kyle and Miranda.
We've got an Iceland series out right now, and eventually there'll be more travel abroad content as well as plenty of van content. So you can check out more details of our home over there.